Here's another thing we should talk about. Let me pull up this tweet here. Bruce Prichard all of a sudden returned to WWE a few years back. Bruce Prichard, who most people didn't think would ever return to WWE because there were forces outside of Vince who really didn't want him there, who knew why he would be there. And also most people didn't think really had a function in the modern wrestling business going forward in the roles that he previously had. Bruce all of a sudden got brought back. Let me pull up this tweet from yesterday, the day of the Royal Rumble, 12:51 p.m. Out of nowhere, Ronda Rousey, who left WWE several months back, made an appearance for AEW and Ring of Honor. Here's what she wrote. Bruce Prichard is basically Vince's avatar. If he's still around, Vince still has a hand in the business. Vince was still running things through Bruce when he was gone, and gone is in quotes, before. And that is in line with everything we've ever heard, or at least I've ever heard. You could say what you've ever heard.
Well, I can't argue with that as far as, yes, obviously, Bruce is now Vince's longest running confidant now that Pat Patterson's gone, and Laurinaitis was not there for nearly the number of years Bruce was. And we talked about at the time, Bruce gets it. And what it is whatever Vince wants. Bruce knows how to take Vince's sometimes, cloudy instructions and disseminate it where Vince gets what he wants. Not saying it's going to be good or bad or indifferent even, but that's just the facts. And Bruce is Vince's ears, and Bruce is Vince's eyes in a lot of cases. And so, yes, but that would be as far as business-wise, as far as the company, as far as the and a lot of people, everybody thinks I'm out of touch, but every time I would actually go back and work with some modern promotion over the last 5 or 10 years, they'd say, wow, he really helped me a lot, but Bruce is so old-fashioned. But
the fact that this was an open secret, that Bruce was only there because he's doing Vince's bidding, I mean, she's saying what everyone knows.
Well, yeah, but again, I'm saying with having known Bruce and known, he may have known something was going on. And Bruce Prichard is a person who is so fastidious, he brushes his teeth with warm water. He refuses to eat hotel room service on the bed, even if that's the only place you can watch TV. He won't eat in bed. He has to eat at a table. He's scared of pickles. He is revulsed by pickles. And he's not a germaphobe, but he's a very fastidious person. And also, when they did the fucking Val Venus and Jenna Jameson shoot for Raw in 1997 or whatever it was, that was in the hot tub at Bruce Prichard's house, and Bruce's wife, Stephanie, wouldn't let him hear the end of it because they let a porn star in her bathtub. And I just cannot believe that, and nobody's said this, but I'm making a preemptive strike. I can't believe Bruce Prichard being involved in any of these various things, but I can believe him covering his ears and turning his head and walking as far away from the thing as possible to where he wouldn't know any more than he had to know.
I mean, it's hard for me to believe that Vince McMahon, when all of a sudden he's surrounding himself with all of his confidants, we all thought it was just a power grab for the company. We didn't realize all the other sick shit that was happening with the same confidants. Maybe not Bruce, maybe not Kevin Dunn, but John Laurinaitis was there for a reason. Vince, again, everything changed the last few years, remember. Vince all of a sudden had his old gang back around him. And this is what he was up to.
And it's
in the office. I mean, that's the other thing. There are unnamed executives who Janelle Grant would walk past and they would treat her bad, or someone would treat her good, but everyone was aware that there was something with her and Vince.
Yeah, she introduced herself to one, and they said, "Oh, I know who you are." And
who is
and
that?
Again,
that's the thing. Is that Stephanie? Is that Kevin Dunn?
When I was there, it was the era of the human resources department, and they ran everything, and you couldn't say boo to a fucking goose. And this is,
I'm reading right now a book that you'll be reading soon, The Six Pack by Brad Bellucci, and it's coming out pretty soon. And he talks about the early days of WWF. how crazy it was in the office in the 80s when HR was Linda McMahon. And beyond that, it was just a boys' club in that office. So, again, it may have been different while you were there in the 90s, but you could certainly say there was a weird, if not at times completely toxic culture around Vince and the way he wanted things set up for himself.
But yeah, but now he's become, maybe it's, again, maybe concussions, Alzheimer's, the drugs, the steroids, whatever the fuck. But in his 70s, he's become a fucking teenager. But like a teenager with, like the fucking Twilight Zone episode of, he's a teenager with omnipotent power and he's wishing people into the fucking cornfield. He's lost all element of his reason or even his risk reward ratio, his just willingness to leave himself open to this shit that you would have never thought the guy of 30 years ago would do, just be this stupid about it.
It's beyond stupid. It's evil.
Else.
It's flat out evil. And that's the thing too, beyond wrestling.
I could believe Vince would be evil more than I could believe he'd be this fucking stupid.